Do you realize what's happened?
Yeah.
We started the show on time.
Well, yes.
Warlocks. You better watch out, America. I'm Zach Nanimus.
Johnny Dim.
And you have been delighted and intrigued to be a witness, which isn't, those aren't the right verbs, to witness WarPod number 113. The WarPod is, of course, the official podcast of Warlocks Entertainment System, featuring, will you stop it?
I was getting so we can talk to the people. Get on YouTube, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, you can talk to me.
Yeah. Should we bottleneck them? Should we funnel them? Be like, this is where you're gonna.
This is where you're gonna find us. Oh, my mom watches on Facebook, and so does your mom. And I feel like we'd have a lot of trouble getting them there. So I think we'll have the Facebook page open too.
Okay, yeah, just in case, just specifically for our mothers.
Yes.
Okay, but. The WarPod is the official podcast of Warlocks Entertainment System, your one-stop shop for nerd news in the Houston area and around the world. First thing, before we started recording, before we started shooting video, Johnny was so happy that he didn't have to get up and do something to start the show, that he could do it remotely right here.
Yeah.
And I accused...
Sorry.
Sorry. I accused him of trying not to be like a Kravitz, just off the top of my head. And he was like, you mean like a Lenny Kravitz? I was like, yeah, Lenny Kravitz has to get up all the time. He does most of his work standing. And Johnny seemed like he wasn't sure about that.
I mean, I was just asking questions.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to Google Lenny Kravitz. And
let's see if he's standing
Let's
most
see
of the
if we
time?
can find one picture of him sitting.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's mostly going to be him playing guitar.
Oh, I should do this where everyone can see it.
Okay, is that easy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually prepped a lot for this episode. It's really weird.
That is so, like, we're doing it now. Yeah. I am so surprised to be in the show right now. That is Lenny Kravitz.
That's not Lenny Kravitz, but hold on.
Okay.
That was prepped. I prepped that for the show.
Okay.
That's the Star Wars trailer.
All right.
But we can definitely minimize this and bring up another tab and search for Lenny Kravitz.
I feel like there's two Lenny Kravitzes.
Okay.
No, like, I feel like there's another entertainer who is very Lenny Kravitz-like.
Images.
Okay. Oh,
he's sitting,
second one.
He's sitting in those two.
Yeah, you know what? That looks like it's in his... This first one here, yeah.
Actually, it's about 50-50.
That actually looks like he's in his car. That's a panel. That's a talk show.
Yeah, he's definitely sitting in those. This one's probably, he looks like he's sitting in this one.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Lenny Kravitz, I hand it to you.
He's a sitter.
He's a sit-down guy.
Yeah.
I completely misjudged
Lenny
my
Kravitz.
entire Kravitz game. Kravitz Gate debunked.
I'm glad he's not popular right now. I really don't like his music.
Oh, okay. I
just wanted to put that out.
When people say stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God, what did he do?
What did he?
Like, that's my.
Nowadays, yeah, it's like, oh no.
Okay.
Who did he touch?
So Johnny Dim.
Yeah.
We gonna front load this with the content that people want to see.
What do people want to see?
People want to see Star Wars.
They do want to see Star Wars.
People want to see Star Wars.
We saw Hellboy today. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But we can front load it with the stuff that everybody wants
yeah.
and wants to rail on, which is Star Wars.
Everybody wants to rail on Star Wars.
It's just
I've heard some negative.
It's a thing that happens.
Okay.
Have you seen the trailer?
I have seen the trailer.
Okay.
Let's watch it again.
Let's watch it again.
Let's break it down frame by frame. Okay?
Frame by frame.
Okay, this frame right here, very telling.
Yeah. Starts
in space.
In space.
Which is black.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can I just say?
Yes.
Like, did she run to this particular part of the desert because she's out of breath?
She must have.
But like, why'd she come here?
There's not a crash speeder nearby her.
Yeah.
That you can tell.
We've passed on all we know.
Turn down just a smidge.
All we know is this lightsaber.
I love this scene that they're showing us.
Yeah?
I think it's awesome.
I actually think it's kind of dumb.
Why?
Because
she's demonstrating the power and the dexterity of the Force.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But like, he's in a time.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Calm down. It's skipping. That might just be between the connection between this computer and that computer.
Yeah. Right, he's in a TIE fighter. It's a very advanced air assault vehicle.
Sure.
So he should have been able to, like, shoot lasers at her.
It's Kylo Ren. Obviously.
I'm not convinced that's Kylo Ren.
It may not be.
Yeah.
I think it's the robot Palpatine.
Okay.
That's my official guess. But if we're to assume that it's Kylo, Kylo is not very smart.
Have we seen him be really specifically dumb? He can be prideful.
That's what I'm saying. That's his whole thing with Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wanted to get out and fight him man to man.
He got out and fight him man to man because lasers didn't work.
That's true.
Yeah. He thought, okay, like because okay.
Oh yeah. Wait. There's more trailer to watch.
Missing mountain.
No, that was obviously a piece of the old Death Star.
Yeah.
Palpatine.
There's the voice of Palpatine.
No one's ever really gone.
I also don't like the title.
See? This is what I'm talking about. Everyone's a rail on Star Wars.
Okay.
Everyone's getting real stupid picky about
Hold
it.
on. There's stuff. There's Billy D.
Yeah. Billy D.
No, there's stuff that I really like about it.
Okay.
There's stuff that I absolutely like about it, but there's some unlikable things about it. Like
I have zero. I have zero things I don't like about
not even the TIE fighter should have shot at her?
it. No. Because we don't know the full story. This could be another prideful moment of Kylo Ren.
He was out of lasers.
He could be out of lasers. He could have had his lasers damaged in a previous fight.
Maybe because of the last altercation with the Skywalker, because this trailer is all but telling us that she's a Skywalker.
But we don't even know that. That's what I'm loving about this trailer because it's a teaser and it's meant to make us assume things just like you just did.
Yeah.
But it could literally talk about, it could just be the legacy of Luke. We don't know that
Or
they're talking
his
about.
hidden baby, which would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
They have awful stories.
It's funny. I was talking to Jonesy about this, and he's kind of the same mind that I am. He kind of just wants all the theories to be true, like everything, just all at once, and partly just to make people mad because it's getting annoying how much people are just on Star Wars. They just want to complain about Star Wars, and it's kind of having a reverse troll effect now. Now I'm kind of want to troll those people just by making it as bad as they think it is. I don't know.
What, with her being a Skywalker and stuff?
No, just everything.
Absolutely.
Just all of it.
Every theory? Like, I don't know that many really specific Star Wars theories.
Well, based on this trailer, of course, most people are focusing on the Skywalker thing.
Yeah.
And so people are like, well, she must be a Skywalker then.
Yeah.
That's most people are assuming. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that would make sense.
It's probably what they're gonna do.
It's probably what they're gonna do, and it's partly I think why they brought JJ back.
Yeah.
Because people were so mad about
The Last Jedi?
about Ryan Wilson just throwing away that legacy.
Johnson.
What did I say?
Wilson.
I said I mixed Rainn Wilson and Ryan Johnson.
Why was Rainn Wilson in the mix?
Because I try to make it a point to say his name correctly, which is Rainn. This is the guy who plays Dwight Schrute.
Yeah.
And he complains about people saying his name wrong all the time, which people think it's Ryan.
Right.
And it's not. And so somehow my wires got crossed. And
Okay. No, okay. The only way that the TIE fighter thing makes sense is that, like, the last time he tried to shoot lasers at a Jedi, it didn't work. And so maybe,
Which is true.
Maybe he's just buzzing her and just like, okay, let's see if I pass through her. See what happens.
He might just be fucking with her.
Doesn't he just want her dead?
No.
No?
No, absolutely not.
Well,
They were near allies last time.
You know what you oughtn't do to your near allies? Hit them with the TIE fighter.
It's an intimidation. A bit. Maybe she's just training. Maybe that's maybe that's somebody else. Maybe that's not Kylo or. Yeah. Think of that.
It's a training droid.
It's a training droid.
The really
They're upping the game.
the really specific lightsaber kata for when you're being buzzed by a TIE fighter instead of it shooting at you like every TIE fighter does. Okay, what do you like? Okay, you say you like everything. Any?
I think it's visually
highlights.
It visually stimulates me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because just like the other two movies, they're visually very appealing. Like they're very pretty movies. And I think this one kind of harkens back to The Last Jedi. Not The Last Jedi. The Rise of the don't tell me. Force Awakens.
Okay.
Because this trailer starts off with a heavy breathing person
in the desert.
Just like, and I think they did that on purpose. And it reminds me that we're getting more JJ. And JJ, I think, did a great job.
You know what? JJ is famous for those shots. He had one in the first Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
For the trailer.
You're right.
Because it's technically like tundras or deserts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Kirk in the
Kirk,
desert.
Yeah. You're so funny.
Okay, so it's visually you like heavy breathing women in the desert.
Yeah, of course, who doesn't?
I mean, I guess fish.
Fair.
Yeah. What I actually like about this one, there's plenty that I dislike, but what I really like about this is actually the whole Palpatine thing.
You do not like, or do
I
you
like it. I like the Palpatine thing, which was a criticism is that they're just throwing nostalgia at us again.
Yeah.
But I think if you take the entire story, this is supposed to be the absolute last thing. It's been setting up, particularly with the original trilogy, not so much with the prequel trilogy, but what it's setting up is this idea that the memory of a person has power.
Right.
You know, it was the very first movie. It was Luke's memory of so it's a Force ghost. It's he's speaking from beyond the grave. But as it relates to us, it's a memory of what Ben was trying to teach him.
Sure.
That led him to turning off his computer, relying on himself, and blowing up the Death Star. And then we start to see very, very specific. We start to see very, very specific instances of these people, memories of them coming back and guiding Luke. And so we've been setting up this idea that memories of people have power. People aren't really gone.
Yeah.
So what we haven't explored there is, what if the people... What if bad memories come back to haunt you?
Sure.
And that's Palpatine.
Absolutely.
Palpatine, the shadow, the memory of Palpatine is coming back to affect our world. And that's pretty good storytelling.
And what I like about that is, in this particular instance, and since we're watching a teaser trailer, is how much that teases people. It really gets people interested in whether negative or positive, whether some people are rolling their eyes, whether they're whatever. Everybody wants to know exactly why that laugh was in there.
Yeah.
Because he could come back in several different ways.
It's Force Ghost.
Force Ghost is the most obvious.
Why be anything but one?
But I'm sticking by my guns, and I'm saying I want to see Palpatine Force Ghost. I want to see his Force Ghost. I want to see it possess a robot.
I don't think that he would do that.
I would love that.
Because the thing is that Palpatine isn't a very physical guy.
Right.
He doesn't really like getting into fights. He has apprentices, and even if he does have to come to grips with somebody, he's got the Force lightning. He uses the Force to get his point across, rather than I think it was Red Letter Media when they were talking about the use of lightsabers in the prequel trilogy, that Palpatine was pretty dismissive of them.
He was.
in the original trilogy. He was like, "Pick up your Jedi weapon. It's a light stick.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing a light stick and I'm a god."
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that bringing back this stuff isn't just nostalgia. Something I've not contested, but something I've been saying. Is my hair crazy today? Is my hair completely insane today? Why didn't you tell me?
That looked fine.
What? You thought this looked fine?
Your hair often looks a little bit crazy.
Okay.
It's always a little, you sprinkle a little crazy dust on every morning.
It's called meth.
Oh.
No.
It might look better in the room.
It might look better in the movie The Room.
Yeah.
Okay. So, something that I've been saying since I saw The Last Jedi is that this can be a good movie, but it's always going to have, the stakes of the story aren't in the plot. The stakes of the story are, can we take what's so far been kind of a mess and, fix it in the last movie? and there's so much that we know about the behind the scenes stuff and personalities associated with it, and just how weird it's been, and it's been non-contiguous as a narrative, that it's just exhausting. Like you're waiting to see.
You're waiting for relief.
You're just waiting to see if this movie will be bad. That's all you're waiting for.
And if
you're not excited,
if not that, you're just happy it's over.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And so this movie, in a lot of ways, like the end of the current Marvel franchise, feels a little like homework. You're just going to see it through.
Yeah.
Because I'm not particularly excited about Endgame either.
I know you're not.
Well, I mean, Infinity War was kind of boring. Yeah. Your take
on the Star Wars trailer?
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah, I dissected it as a cultural phenomenon.
My thoughts are a lot simpler. Like I'm happy that we're getting to the end in a way, not just because I'm like, oh, thank God it's finally over. I'm glad JJ's back. I'm happy and anticipating the conclusion of this arc. Return of the Jedi, although it was not the best of the original, I think this one, as it is the third one, so I'm comparing the two, I think will be satisfactory and will feel good when we've kind of tied, all these loose ends and just tied the knot on all of them.
There are quite a few loose ends to be tied.
There are. And I think
this movie will be 100% denouement. What is usually the last 15 minutes of a movie?
As I'm thinking about it more.
3 hours.
As I'm thinking about it more, I really like really good long movies. Like I love Return of the King for Lord of the Rings, but now that I'm thinking about it more, I'm a little worried because J.J. Abrams is not good at finishing things.
Nope.
He's terrible at it. Lost. There's a lot of people that were unsatisfied with that.
Well, okay. It wasn't the way it ended specifically, like the last beat.
Right.
It was the last arc. The last arc was weird.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that personally. I just know that people have said that because I never watched it. I did watch Fringe, and that really kind of tapers off. Like it's really good for like the first couple seasons, and then just really takes a dive. Mm-hmm. He hasn't finished Star Trek. Like that's not an actual trilogy. I don't consider that a trilogy. The Star Trek movies.
No, they're just Star Trek was always supposed to be episodic.
Right, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that's not. We can't go to that for.
How intimately involved was he with the third one?
Probably not. I don't even know if he was
like
a producer.
that was kind of a Simon Pegg thing.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
My point is, we may have something to worry about.
I think they're going the right direction with the whole Palpatine thing.
I
honestly do.
I hope so. Now, also the other thing is we have to also look at this as maybe not the end, because this is Disney. They're going to keep. They have the Star Wars franchise. Yeah. They're not going to kill it.
If this makes plenty of money,
there's going to be the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So this might not really put the button on it we really want.
Can we talk about that a little bit right now?
Sure.
Okay, I think that the problem with the whole like Marvel fatigue thing and stuff like that has to do with the idea that we can't just tell one story in 3 acts using 3 movies, that we say it's this perpetual thing. I think that, well, honestly, the receipts speak for themselves. The movies make money. Mm-hmm. But so maybe it's just me being a curmudgeon. That's a possibility. But I think that these movies would be a little bit more impactful if you just slowed down, just waited a little bit, and it's like, okay, here's the 3 movies of this arc that we were trying to tell, and then maybe like wait 1 year, just one, and then okay, we're starting the next big Marvel event.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you can enjoy the television shows. In the meantime, you can enjoy the comic books.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of saying, okay, you have to. There's a new movie every month. Go watch it. Some of them are gonna be bad, but just go do it.
Right. You have to.
Yeah.
You're invested.
Actually, you know what?
You haven't seen them all.
You know what? I'm gonna go in having not seen Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's probably not going to mean anything to you.
Yeah, and we could probably. I mean, what movies could you skip in Marvel? To
bare minimum.
The maximum number of movies that you can skip, and which ones?
You could probably skip all of them except for the team-up movies.
So you only need to see the Avengers movies?
I think that's the only ones you have to see. Like, absolutely have to.
I think you absolutely have to. You're probably right.
Yeah.
I think that your overall experience is going to be diminished if you don't see Civil War. And Iron Man 1 and 2.
Those are good movies to see. And I think when we start adding other movies, like I was thinking like Thor Ragnarok might be a good one because then you understand the depths of Thor's emotions because of the people he lost his people, right? And I think that knowing that story, you kind of understand the emotional depths of his character. And I think that's all that watching all the Iron Man films does too, because then you understand Tony's full arc, right?
Well, it's supposed to be his arc.
Right.
It all starts with him.
It does, but it's not super necessary. Like you'll understand enough.
Well,
I think all the other, if we add more movies than the team up movies, it's only to. It adds the emotional parts of it.
Without Iron Man 1 and 2, when you get to the first Avengers movie, you'll be introduced to, oh, we're the Avengers now. And it's like, why? Like, that all gets set up. It actually all gets set up in Iron Man 2. But there's the after credit scene in Iron Man 1 is the first appearance of Nick Fury, and then they work very closely in the second one.
Really, what the question is how much understanding do you need? Do you need to understand all that to appreciate the movie?
Yeah,
I don't think you do.
Well,
I don't think you do. Because I mean, a movie in itself is self-contained.
These movies aren't.
They kind of are. Like you can appreciate a story. You don't understand every facet, and like you're like, you may have missed one little thing here. I mean, but
that
it's still
bothers me. That bothers me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That would bother me personally.
Uh-huh.
But I'm saying like a bare minimum. Could you enjoy this movie without having seen?
Oh, I contest that you can't enjoy this movie having seen all of them. As a matter of fact, you're probably in the weeds. Man, my hair. How do you not see how bad my hair is?
It looks awesome.
It is such a mess. Oh my god. Okay.
Let's
unpack. Let's unpack the true war crime that was Hellboy.
Yay! let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw Hellboy today, right before filming this.
Yes, we woke up especially early on a Sunday.
We're both very tired, for different reasons. But we're tired. But we saw it. We woke up early, so we did the very, very first viewing of Hellboy.
Sunday morning, 10 a.m. when most people are at church.
Yeah, and aside from that, right?
Well, no, most people. That's church prime time. That's when we chose to see Hellboy.
Right. Which I think was appropriate.
Yeah.
Despite my my pita bread being stale, and
the pita bread was fine.
It was stale.
Is that gonna?
And the hummus itself was a little stale.
Are these gonna factor in on your final judgment?
I said despite.
Okay.
Despite these things that were negative that happened around the movie.
Despite that, sure.
What was the? The Rockets are in the playoffs.
No, I get it, but it's a baseball jersey cut and a basketball shirt.
It was only $15.
Oh, yeah, wow.
It's official too. We bought it.
I didn't pay $15 for everything I'm wearing.
Yeah. Nice. Where'd you get the jacket?
The Goodwill.
Oh, that's a good place for it.
Yeah.
Good to pick up stuff like that. I got some corduroy pants I picked up from a Goodwill.
Oh my god. Okay. Despite your corduroy pants and
despite being tired, despite the
pita
bread being stale, and despite what was the other thing? I had three things. Oh, despite the volume in the theater being too loud.
I actually had to go and complain.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think they ever brought it down.
They did.
Just a little bit.
Oh, it was oppressive.
Yeah. I was going to get a headache if they kept it up that loud.
Yeah.
But anyway, despite these negative things, the movie was fun. It was actually a lot of fun. Yes. I really enjoyed it. It is the most metal movie I've seen all year. And probably in 2 years, in 3 years maybe.
That's true, but it's also playfully metal.
Yeah.
Because you're a metalhead from the late '90s, early 2000s.
Correct.
So you're Cradle of Filth. You're
Mudvayne, Slipknot,
Puddle of Mud.
Mushroom Head.
Yeah. And like that's all really, really negative.
Oh, negative content, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like it's just screaming about pain and death at you.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Absolutely.
Where this movie doesn't. This movie's very tongue in cheek. It throws
playful.
a little hair metal in there, which was
Yep.
a much more playful time in metal.
Yeah, some Motley Crue. That was fun.
And one thing that I thought was really cool. I liked seeing this was who's the guy who plays Hop in Stranger Things? What is his name? Is his name Duffy Brother? I think is what his name is. It's the only credit you ever really see in Stranger Things. That and Winona Ryder. It's the only ones you notice.
I typed in who plays Hop, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the
You
actual...
got Hugh Hefner showed up in that. Stranger Things Hop actor.
I'm just gonna do this.
Google probably would have just found the...
I just go to IMDb.
Oh boy. So many more clicks. Oh, no.
Did I mess up?
No, you're fine. It's just full cast and crew.
Oh, there it is. Here we go.
Jim Hopper.
David Harbour.
I like seeing how different those characters were.
Hop and Hellboy?
Yeah, because he plays like in Hellboy he plays kind of like a closed head injury like sufferer. Like he's such a meathead.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he's literally just screaming, "Dad! You gave me a gun for Christmas, Dad!" And
Great.
it sounds negative.
Yeah.
Like based upon if you follow the show, like stuff that I would like in movies. It's this doesn't seem like it would be it, but this is it was just charming. And one thing I said was like it's like if the WWE made a movie.
And I said a good movie because they do make movies.
And I didn't know that.
They make some terrible movies.
But yeah, the whole thing was just rock and roll and beefy dudes knocking people around. Although one thing about was it James Harbour? Is that what we learned? Was that his name?
No.
What?
David Harbour. Is it David?
It's Harbour. The word's Harbour.
Harbour.
Yeah.
David. Yeah.
David Harbour. One thing that was a little distracting, they use a lot of practical effects, and I really liked it. But David Harbour isn't a bodybuilder. You know, they added like foam latex to him to give him muscles.
But he was also chubby.
And so he's got his little love handles in the back
Yeah.
every time he's shirtless.
Okay, so here's a list of all the WWE movies.
Oh boy, the Scorpion King?
That's probably the best one on here.
No, features WWE stars. I'm talking about made by.
That's what this is. This is the
No.
WWE Studios page for Wikipedia page.
They made the Scorpion King?
Yes.
Okay, they made the Rundown?
As WWF Entertainment.
I've seen Walking Tall.
Walking Tall, I didn't know that was theirs.
Yeah. I've seen Part 12 Rounds. Inside Out? Like the Pixar movie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What's a twist?
Let's see. Dead Man Down. I kind of want to see that one. Okay, No One Lives.
Yeah. The list
Okay,
goes
so
on.
I've seen Jingle All the... Okay, not Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way 2, which if
Right.
don't tell me, because it'll tell you which WWE stars featured. Isn't that Stone Cold? It's either Stone Cold or Bill Goldberg.
No, it's Santino Marella.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. 12 Rounds 3. I didn't know there was a 12 Rounds 2. Although I may have just said it. Scooby-Doo and WWE Curse of the Speed Demon.
What?
Who's in it? Various voices.
Okay, so that's an actual cartoon.
Okay.
The Marine 5. Battleground.
I'm just trying to find ones that I've seen. Killing Hasselhoff?
What?
Killing Hasselhoff in 2017. How
That's
did you
weird.
miss it?
That's so weird. Straight to video. Most of these are straight to video.
Okay. And that's pretty much it. Oh, except for the 6th Marine movie.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, one thing that I said immediately after watching this movie was that It really ought to have been 2 movies. Okay, so we should decide when spoilers are going to start, and we should probably give ratings now.
Yeah.
Okay. I give this movie an 8
Out of 10.
out of 10,
Okay.
or an 80%.
Okay. I would give it an 88.
Wow, where'd that extra 8 come from?
Well, I kept thinking about it, and I was actually going to go with 90 at first. That felt too high. So I just went a couple of points lower.
Okay. Well, you know what we've never established? Baselines.
Baselines?
Because 0's the worst, 100's the best.
Yeah.
If these are gradations up to your very favorite movie, like we're ramping up to Willow.
For me, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Willow pinnacle.
Yes.
Okay,
The
best movie possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't give Willow 100. I know it's not the best movie.
Okay.
I know personally it holds a special place.
Okay, you like Dunkirk.
But, Dunkirk's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is that your favorite?
But I think I don't want to be. I feel like I'm being cliche if I do this, but I think The Dark Knight would be my favorite movie.
That's fair.
I
It's a
think
very good movie.
It's a very good movie. I just don't want to be.
It's got some problems.
It does have some problems.
Like Two-Face.
Wait, what's his problem?
He's in it. like the third movie should have been about Two-Face.
Okay.
And they just set him up in this one.
Right.
And then we could have and even though Two-Face isn't the most iconic Batman villain, we could have talked about the duality of man and what it means to hide behind a mask, and all that could have been Two-Face stuff while doing some really interesting and creative
I'm happy
exploration.
they try to tackle Bane. And I thought there's a lot of good things they did with Bane, but there's a lot of problems with that story.
Oh boy.
There's a lot of problems with that story.
There's a lot of problems with that production.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Okay. So gradations up to that. This is okay. You changed your rating based upon an emotional feeling, and that 90 was too much. It was too close to The Dark Knight.
I don't think it was quite polished enough. The story wasn't, and although I appreciate it, I thought that Hellboy, the contained story, what they did within that 2 hour and whatever minutes, there was a lot of things that made sense. And I thought that they did enough callbacks. They made enough. It was intertwined very well.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like when you weren't really sure why the what was the girl's name? I don't remember her name.
Which one?
The youngest one with the dreads.
Alice.
You see, I wasn't sure why she was there. And although she was she complimented Hellboy, the character, for a while. But it wasn't until that last scene when the father.
Okay, wait. So
that was a spoiler.
We're getting into
that was a spoiler. Sorry. But it wasn't until that last scene where I really thought she really her character got a button. That made sense.
Okay, since we have our ratings, okay, and I'll say this, and I'll go into it in depth in the spoilers. So we need to set a timer because this is live. We're gonna
do spoilers.
We're gonna talk about Hellboy. We're gonna talk Hellboy spoilers for exactly 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
But let me actually. I'm gonna put it up on screen so people can see it.
What, the timer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
Oops. Yeah.
Oops, we canceled everything.
Oops, it's all over. I just need to bring this back.
I did it again. I made a mistake.
There's Lenny Kravitz again. Enjoy.
Lenny Kravitz just sitting all over the place. Just sitting down. You earned it, man. What? We're sorry.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Okay. And we're just going to leave it like that?
Yeah.
Why?
So people can tell. They'll know how to skip forward.
We should have... Oh, why? There's no way to put it in the corner?
We're doing it this way.
Okay, fine.
You're wasting your time.
All right. The thing about Hellboy being okay, so you're talking about Hellboy being intertwined, with itself. And
yeah, I thought there's a lot of callbacks. Yeah, everything made sense. I thought it was really confined or contained well.
Yeah. Actually, I really disliked the way her power worked.
Why?
Because so at the end of the movie, you've got Ian McShane, and they're trying to have a pretty emotional moment. But her power is that when she communes with the dead, she can create a physical avatar out of her own intestines that spring out of her mouth, and it doesn't even make them.
They're astral intestines. It's different.
It makes their head, and then like scary stories to tell in the dark. Like animation underneath them. And so you're trying to have this emotional moment where these two characters are connecting after butting heads a lot in the movie. And it's serviceable, but it is Ian McShane attached to just a bunch of like Wendy's frosty diarrhea and vascular tissue. It's just silly.
I feel like that made sense in that world because everything was gross in that movie.
Sure, but the thing is like they want it to be visceral and they want it to look painful for Alice. That was part of it. It's not fun for her to do. So I think it would have been maybe a bit more impactful if when she communed with a spirit, like it would start like breaking her bones and shredding her skin, and then suddenly she gloms back together and she is that person for a time.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and so we could have just had Ian McShane in the scene instead of CG diarrhea monster.
I feel like if we went that route, then that character would be different. I feel like she would be a more depressed character because of how much pain she has to go through to do that.
The way she does it in the movie does not look fun.
It doesn't look fun.
It's literally having all of her intestines pulled out.
Those aren't her intestines. Those are not her.
If they are not her intestines, why are they coming? Why is it coming out of her mouth? And why is she incapable of speaking while doing
magic.
So? Certainly.
Little.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's the little touches like that. Like in Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson was like careful. Anytime he didn't have to use a visual effect, he didn't. You know.
Right. You're right.
Yeah, to the point where he would even be. Like, he would ask hobbits to just get on your knees. It doesn't matter if your head's not the right size. It's better just to have the actors together. And for it not to be distracting.
Sorry. Zach.
Yo.
You make a good point.
Okay.
And I was going to say, like...
You're welcome.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to make it more than a 90 at all, because there were fine touches like that that could have helped. Like if they dialed that in.
Yeah.
There was little stuff like that. I thought mostly though their use of CG was actually really good. I love the monsters.
Mostly.
Yeah, I love the monsters at the end that are basically. So this is definitely spoiler territory if you're just jumping into this just now.
Yeah.
But that's what the timer's for. We have that much time to talk about spoilers. But there's a bunch of these. You see them in the trailer. These big demons that come out and just start killing people.
They're
left and right.
They have shades of Attack on Titan.
They do a little bit. And that was a lot of fun for me. This is where a lot of the metal aspect comes from, because you just think about it's reminiscent of stuff like the Doom guy from Doom, where you just. In the new Doom, where he's just tearing apart demons. Like, there's just gore, blood everywhere. Who cares?
I didn't think that was going to have as much of an impact on me as it did.
Yeah.
Because, like, normally, like, every movie blows up a city now.
Right.
But they added this very, like, the Titans walking around.
Yeah. It's kind of visceral.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And there were lots of, nobody was getting saved. That's the thing. Nobody was even worried about the city aspect of it. People were just out there getting wrecked.
And what's funny is that they don't even mention, they never even call to it, like, because the reason this happens is because Hellboy decides to take on Excalibur and therefore become the king to that which the main villains. They said her name 1,000 times. Starts with an N, but basically be the king to her queen, and just grabbing that sword. The demons start coming up.
Yeah, he perverted the magic of Excalibur with his demonic bloodline and turned this world into.
It just triggers that. It just triggers the demon start, and just people, probably thousands of people died.
Yeah.
Within just a few minutes, just because he hadn't.
He didn't know.
He may not have known, but it's funny that they don't even reference it.
That's because that's doing what he had to do.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm loving that they're not even talking about it.
Even if everything went perfectly.
Right.
Even if there was no trials or tribulation, like there was no second thought of his where like I could just be the Demon King and I could have all my demon buddies like not be persecuted, which is kind of what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Like even if there was no thought like that, he was just like, I'm gonna grab the sword, I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah.
some of that still would have happened.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it's
just
crazy.
a consequence
It's just crazy
of him
to me.
picking up the sword.
I love it. I love that's the way it was. Let's see what else.
Well,
so, I think another low point was, and it was better than I thought, because you definitely put some doubt in my mind before we saw the movie, when we saw the trailer, that main villain, the witch. We keep calling her the witch. Is she a witch? I think she's a witch.
Dark Queen is
Dark
something
Queen,
they keep saying.
Yeah, but
Niedermeyer, I think, is her name.
right. She could have been a little better. There's a little bit of shallowness there. She could have had a little more depth to her.
A lot better than the trailer.
A lot better than the trailer.
A lot better than the trailer. A lot more interesting. I like it when she's watching television and like her body is still in 8 pieces, and so like it's just her hand working the remote.
Absolutely. Oh man, it was just a lot of fun. A lot of the visual effects were good.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That was great. They did such a good job visually with that character.
She's a lot of prosthesis. She's mostly prosthesis.
Yeah, absolutely. The only I think she was moving around a lot. They probably using more CG.
Even then, sometimes they were using a very elaborate costume,
which was great. Mm-hmm. She was actually a lot of fun, and she's used in telling kind of what the sequel might be about, because she seems to be a constant enemy of Hellboy. Mm-hmm. She wants his eye,
right,
to replace the eye that he took, which I think is cool.
My only last problem with this movie, because it's like I said before, spoilers. Or did I say this, that it is all heart, no substance?
I don't think you said that, no.
But the heart carries it through.
Right.
Like really tips it into the net. Actually, it's a slam dunk as far as just personality of a movie is concerned.
Yeah.
And you know what? I shouldn't say no substance. It's just definitely on the back burner.
Sure.
But like I was telling Johnny in the theater, this really ought to have been 2 movies to tell a single story, where we deal with concepts of Hellboy not being accepted in culture, and so one of the things that the witch is offering is, okay, if you remake the world with me, then demons and devils who you're a decent guy, you turned out okay. Why can't we just let all the demons hang out, and then it'll be fine? We didn't explore that enough because we had to tack onto it as well concepts of fatalism, where because he's a demon and because people keep telling him that he's part of this prophecy to destroy the world,
his destiny, blah blah blah.
It's both a movie about questioning what you believe your destiny to be, questioning what you think your purpose is, and also trying to be accepted in your society. And whether or not you have to deconstruct society in order to get recognition. And there's not quite enough room for both. And instead of one shoving the other out of the way, they both just kind of get half-assed. A little.
He had more problem with that than I did.
3/4 ass.
Yeah, I thought both of those were explored enough for this kind of movie. What?
The thing about the original Hellboy series is that it's great. They're great movies, and this movie could have been great.
You thought both the original Hellboy movies are great?
I actually prefer the sequel, which most people disliked.
Yeah, I didn't think that was nearly as good.
I liked those movies. Okay. They had a bit more heart because they explored these things a little more concisely.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I just
these particular things, but what they were exploring, they explored concisely.
You want to talk about the mid credits and end credits scenes?
I mean, the end credit scene is nothing.
It's a tease on who the villain's going to be for the next movie.
Did they I left for the bathroom.
You were not there. You were there for the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. I left for the bathroom immediately after the credits started because I didn't think there was going to be mid-credit.
There was.
Yeah, and that was the Rock Lobster.
Right.
Or Lobster Johnson.
Yeah.
Who's really throwaway joke. It's the bad guy from George of the Jungle playing him. Who isn't a bad actor. It's just kind of funny but distracting.
Yeah.
And
it reminds me of the end credit scene for Captain Marvel, which I thought was absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the end credit scene, because during the movie the one who actually brought Hellboy that basically summoned him for the Nazis was Rasputin.
Yeah.
And that's what they kind of teased.
Vladimir Rasputin.
Yeah.
not Pieter Rasputin.
Who?
Colossus from X-Men?
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought there was two different Rasputins from history that I was missing. I was like, is there another one? But no, so he's the one who's going to be probably in the sequel, because there's definitely going to be a sequel. I mean, there's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, you get inkling that it's going to be him, but it's literally just a close-up of Baba Yaga, and she's like, if you get the eye, I'll give you what you've always wanted. She's like, what do I always want? And she's like, to die. And
to finally die.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool little thing, because that's the whole thing about Rasputin, is they tried to kill him multiple times, and they had to try multiple times before they got it right. So that's actually historical.
Sure, but like, as far as like setting up things, they really could have just put the camera on Baba Yaga, and she could have been like, there will be a sequel. And like, it is the same effect. It wasn't particularly intriguing.
No, but I like the nod. I like knowing what we have to look forward to.
The end of the movie proper is actually more exciting.
For you were getting really excited.
Yeah, because Abe's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abe Sapien is back in action.
Mm-hmm. And that's when they were playing the Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I dislike the way they used him in the first movies.
Okay.
Because he's basically a damsel in distress.
Sure.
That's all he is.
Yeah.
And like, they even had like cool water scenes for him to be in, and like, in the cool water scene, Abe should be more powerful than Hellboy. That should be his role, is to do the water stuff.
Right.
But they still had to bring in Hellboy to solve the problems, because he gets harmed early.
It's like Killer Croc in Suicide Squad.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. That's what he should be, because they had a special water scene just for him.
Yeah.
I'm powerful.
His makeup would have ran. Killer Croc, stupid.
It'd be nice if they could get a really good CG Killer Croc. But we're going to see something very interesting in the next Suicide Squad, because they're going to do the Hammerhead guy. I don't know his real name, but he's actually just like a street shark.
Is he part of the same whatever created Orca? Is that part of it?
Oh, maybe.
We're going on 2 minutes left. Any last spoiler you want to throw out there?
No.
Okay.
Just go watch the movie. It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, that's the takeaway.
Bring the kids, or not, because it's rated R.
You know, I'm completely desensitized to anything rated R. Like,
you were surprised it was rated R.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious.
Well, they didn't really curse.
He said fuck a few times.
Did he?
Yeah.
When?
It was like, well, okay, maybe a handful of times.
That's a few.
And other characters said it too.
Oh, Ian McShane. Okay, I can't tell when Ian McShane is cursing.
King Shark is the character's name.
King Shark.
Straight up street shark.
He is a straight up street shark. And they're doing it for Suicide Squad. You know what they should?
The reboot. It's not a sequel.
You know what they should do for Suicide Squad? Nothing.
Oh, come on, James Gunn's on board. They're all doing the thing. It's gonna be better. That's what they say anyway.
Like, who are they gonna get for Waller?
I don't know. I don't think they've gotten that far, because this is being done.
Hold on, wait a second.
We're jumping ahead. We need to do the spoilers.
No, we're out of spoilers.
You got 40 seconds left.
Okay, Jimmy Piper. No. Okay, it didn't quite. Okay, the psychic chick didn't quite pay off, because like in the end she's like punching people, and like earlier in the movie we find that she can kill the undead with a single punch because she's a psychic and she can knock souls out of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, but in the end, that's cool. That's awesome. Like, she should have, after that she should have been like, I can kill anybody in one punch, because it just send their souls out of their body to the afterlife. But then like in the end she just has like brass knuckles, and I didn't know why.
I think that's just you know what? I don't know. I think it was just. I have no idea.
And time.
Oh Jesus! Oh, stop. Jesus.
Okay.
All right.
So, Suicide Squad. Apparently you.
No, we don't have to talk about that.
No, I wanted. Well, how are we doing on time?
I don't know.
How long have we been doing this? Is the question.
49 minutes.
49. Oh yeah. Let's talk. Well, do you have another segment?
No.
Okay, then let's talk about the Suicide Squad, because you're telling me that we have new information. Is this new information? Do we know?
It's not that new.
It's not. Okay. They're doing Hammerhead Shark Time. Hammer Boy.
Yeah. So this is the roster. I found this is an article from March 7th. And it's got King Shark, Polka Dot Man, Peacemaker, and Ratcatcher.
Okay. Here's the deal about Suicide Squad. You just told me, I didn't know this. Suicide Squad 2 is not going to be called Suicide Squad 2. It's going to be called Suicide Squad because they're rebooting now.
They're rebooting it.
Just
Correct.
in time for the sequel.
There won't be a sequel.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is that the timing for this is sequel, not reboot.
Right, but because Suicide Squad was not received very well, they're just going to start over.
You just make a better second movie. And
I'm just telling you what they're doing.
All right, I'll respect.
Don't get mad at me.
Okay, here's the thing. Why do we still have Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn?
I think people liked her as Harley Quinn.
Right. So they liked aspects of the first movie. They have the money to make a second one. Mm-hmm. Like, has it ever been the case where you reboot and just leave one of the characters completely the same?
There's been similar things, like when you do a sequel and change actors. That's similar.
It's similar, but it's similar in that it has something to do with a movie and the actors that play different roles. But I'm talking about like they didn't start the Christopher Nolan Batman franchise with Michael Keaton.
Right.
You know?
For good reason.
Well, he's a little older.
Yeah.
They didn't start it with okay, Chris O'Donnell could have played Robin in the Christopher Nolan sequels. He would have fit in just fine. They didn't do that.
I would have hated that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like Robin in the third one anyway, because it was dumb.
Well, he wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't traditional Robin.
It wasn't any kind of Robin.
No. It was future Robin.
It was a cop. It was just this.
Actually,
cop.
the way they played him, he wasn't really going to be Robin anyway. He was going to be the next Batman. He was going to take up the mantle.
Which is what Robin did.
Eventually, yeah.
Okay. No, that's super weird that Margot Robbie's going to stay on it. And I like Margot Robbie was fine as Harley Quinn.
Okay.
I'm not saying that she should be taken off the project based upon the merits of her performance. I'm just saying it's super weird that we're changing absolutely everything about it, calling it Suicide Squad 1, and like leaving certain aspects of it the same. Mm-hmm. That's odd to me. It's also odd to reboot now.
Do you know anything about Peacemaker?
No, I don't.
Is he even a villain?
I don't know.
He is an agent of peace, whose motives are driven by an extremist form of pacifism that makes him love peace so much he would kill for it.
That's cool.
It's interesting.
I like that.
It's interesting.
That's an excellent character to go with.
Okay. Oh, okay. Peacemaker is the role that sources say James Gunn, likes for Dave Bautista. I heard he was going to try to find a role for him in Suicide Squad.
You know, after the dedication that Dave Bautista showed, leading up to Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm not going to put anything past him.
No, he's a great actor.
Yeah, well, he's a very dedicated performer, and he knew that there was some things that he would need to change about his competencies as a performer, and he corrected them in time so that he could do a good job on the film.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think before Guardians of the Galaxy, his background in theater was hitting people with chairs.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There is some of the best pro wrestlers are good actors. There are not that many of them that are also good actors. Because it's oftentimes exaggerated.
So you're saying that
it's a lesser form of acting, kind of like how I feel like soap operas are a lesser form of acting. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of same kind of thing.
The best actors, the best wrestlers are usually good actors.
Mm-hmm. The Rock was pretty good.
I like The Rock a lot as an actor. I really just like watching him.
Don't let me hear you say that. It's Dwayne Johnson now.
Dwayne Johnson? Mm-hmm. Can I mix the two?
He transitioned himself.
Can I call him the Dwok?
No.
Why?
Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you what you can or can't do.
You know what? I have to put Johnson in there. I'm gonna from now on.
Dwok
he is
Johnson?
The Dwaj.
Dwaj Johnson?
Dwaj Johnson. You heard it here first on the WarPod.
But I noticed that when he actually transitioned into movies, he went as The Rock in his first movie, And then
I thought he was Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That's what I'm saying. He was The Rock first. I think
Really?
even when it was The Rock, I think in Scorpion King, because that was a WWE production. We just found out.
Well, yeah.
But then he went Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then he eventually dropped The Rock after he got enough recognition.
You'll always be The Rock.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't escape it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we can smell what you're cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
The people's champ.
very clearly mineralistic culinary.
He had a thing where he talked about pie a lot in reference to women's genitalia
Really?
in wrestling, yeah.
What did he have to say about it?
He just referenced it a lot and just called it pie. It was always a euphemism. I remember they did a Thanksgiving thing that was actually, they got a lot of different pies.
Did he have sex on a lot of episodes of WWF? It's like, what was he?
No.
And tonight, here in the squared circle, your man, The Rock, is gonna be having sex.
Zip. That was just a loose memory that was just floating about in my head about The Rock. There was a lot of, especially back in the early 2000s, in the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era, yeah. They crossed that line a few times. There was a Val Venus. Do you remember him?
No.
His entire entrance music was a euphemism.
Well,
They would just show.
Was it Slippery When Wet?
No, I don't remember the exact song, but it was definitely hinted at sexual stuff. But then the video that would play was all stuff that was supposed to make you think about an ejaculate. They had like an oil derrick spewing out oil. They had a couple different things.
And his name was Val Venus?
Val Venus. He didn't wrestle that far into the 2000s, but in the late 90s for sure.
Like, was he just hoping people would accidentally say Velveeta and remember his name?
That's a good question.
Because, like...
I don't know what he ended up doing, to be honest.
Cocaine. Like all of them. You just...
Oh, man, I found him.
What was he...
I got his video.
What's he doing? You know that everybody can see.
Yes, I'm well aware.
All right.
It's not going to be... Yeah.
They did have sex in the WWF.
This is later on, because he had long hair at one point.
Or early on. He had to grow it out.
This is later in his career. This is not even the stuff I was talking about. All right.
This is kind of my favorite video on YouTube now.
I'm gonna look just one more.
No, what if it turns out to be sad, like with Jake the Snake?
No. I'm not gonna see what he's done. You know what? Well, man, that's a thing.
What?
That's a thing.
What? That Jake the Snake is sad?
No, that there are a lot of wrestlers have sad history. I'm just gonna look and see when he stopped wrestling.
The thing about Jake the Snake is that, like, it's not sad. You don't think of it as sad for him personally because, like, I think he got, like, animal abuse charges. Because, like, he had to sedate the snake.
What?
To bring a snake to...
Oh, you had to actually sedate an actual live snake. Okay. I didn't know what the hell you were saying. I just know it rhymed. I was like, what are you saying?
You know, he had to sedate the snake many a time
So he
in his wrestling matches.
He ended up doing the independent circuit.
Okay.
2009 to present. So apparently he's still wrestling.
Okay. Is he still under the name Val Venus?
I don't know.
I think we're going to be able to hear your son
Maybe
on the stream.
Yeah, we'll end it here.
we should wrap it up?
Yeah, we're pretty much at time anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're curious, go look up some more Val Venus facts.
And I think that's really what you ought to take away from this episode.
Is that I remember a wrestler called Val Venus.
And that you should too. And on that note, Johnny Dim, first off, I would like to invite everybody, if you enjoyed the video today, to like, comment, and subscribe in whatever form that takes on our multi-streaming service. You know,
We're not done. I just realized we have to talk about Comicpalooza.
We do have to talk about Comicpalooza. Comicpalooza is a comic book convention. It is native to Houston. It's going to have lots of great guests and great panelists. Do you know why I say great panelists? Because we're on panels.
We're on a panel.
That's right. We're on one panel. We have one panel and one show. We'll be, we don't have the schedule yet, but we'll be doing how to add a visual element to your podcast.
Let's kind of where we left off last time. I want to highlight a different part of Comicpalooza each time we talk about it, the weeks leading up to it. So let's talk about the gaming.
I'd also like to mention that Johnny's son's mother is tending to the lad. We didn't just leave him in a room.
That's fair. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to mention. You don't hear him screaming now because she's trying to feed him or change him or something. Because that's what usually what he's complaining about.
He doesn't like to be messed with.
He doesn't.
He doesn't like to be fed.
Doesn't like to be naked.
Doesn't like diaper changes.
No.
He doesn't like anything. Worst baby 2019.
Yeah. So they have. It looks like they have some competitive video gaming going on this year. They did it in years past. We just haven't really participated, so we can't speak a lot to it.
I mean, it usually happens upstairs, and it's popular. It's probably going to be like PUBG this year because it was Overwatch last year.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not PUBG. Fortnite. It's probably going to Fortnite.
Fortnite. Yeah. Or Apex Legends.
Keep dreaming.
Yeah. But they have the free play. For the non-competitor or those who wanted to compete wanted to practice before combat, our free play areas hosted 30 to 45 minute sessions with access to our library of Steam games. So they're going to be the computers that they have upstairs usually.
Okay.
Now I'm hoping, because they don't mention it here, but I'm really crossing my fingers here and hoping that they have the pinball machine that they had last year.
Snowball's chance in hell.
Because that was a lot of fun. I got to play the Guardians of the Galaxy pinball machine, which is a lot of fun.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
What else? There was a bunch of other ones that we played. That was one I did really well at. But they usually have a bunch of arcade games that are on free to play. Usually, I think they're provided. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think they're provided by joysticks.
Probably.
I think, which makes sense because they're right next door. Literally, joysticks is right next door.
Hey, the thing about joysticks, and this is like a really personal thing.
Yeah.
Oh, not like they get nothing out of you knowing the answer.
Right.
It's just for me.
Right.
Can you still go to joysticks?
Yeah, I think they still have their Friday. They call it something. It's a Friday thing.
Yeah.
It's like the last Friday of the month, I think.
It's only two. It's two of them.
Two Fridays.
I think it's second and last.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because they're mostly a rental place.
Right. He rents them and I think sells them. I think that's what his main business is. But you can go in there and they put everything on free play. You pay like $15 and you can play all the stuff you want.
You better bring friends if you're going to play X-Men because
Yeah.
No, it's just that like if you only have 3 friends, it's one person's job to move Cyclops across the screen because there's always like 99 lives.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so the gaming's gonna be fun, and most years that we don't have a booth, we always spend at least a little bit of time in the board game room. We would always go up there and play a little bit. We played
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But but one year we actually talked to Richard Lanius.
Richard Lanius.
He was debuting.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he was debuting a new zombie board game, and he taught us how to play. And that man is a saint, and he's my best friend, and you can't prove me otherwise.
One thing that I like about Richard Lanius, an anecdote that I like to talk about.
It's our favorite thing about him.
No, it was actually something that he said in the interview that we did with him. Like, so he created the Arkham Horror games.
Yeah.
And he created Arkham Horror because he really, really, really liked the Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game. And I guess like they only met once a week, and that wasn't enough for him because he like just wrote a board game and like created a prototype. And in the rules, if you've got a copy of Arkham Horror, you can play that game alone. And that's why he made the whole game, so that he could leave a hot sesh of Call of Cthulhu, come home, and get right back into the action.
Not enough Lovecraft for him.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Not nearly.
Not nearly enough. He had to create an entire board game. But one of the anecdotes that we often reference and talk about is...
And as a board game creator, he is prolific.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but go on.
But we were doing a thing at the time when we were doing our podcast, and we were doing this story that we do for about 5 minutes before each episode.
Death of Dim.
Death of Dim. Actually, I think it was before and after, if I remember correctly.
No, we only had one with him.
Okay, one. No. I'm saying that we did the segments before and after the podcast proper.
Yes, there was a setup and then there was a payoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, wow, I asked a lot of that man.
He
and
did.
He delivered.
He delivered. All we did was we said, okay, this is what we'd like you to do for the. Can you kind of bring yourself in and do this thing and he delivered on a level we did not expect.
Well, do you mind if I give a little more context?
Go for it.
Because this, Death of Dim happened because Johnny, you were taking 2 months off.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, you took 2 months off, and so it was just me, and so I needed a guest every week. Because I don't like doing this kind of thing alone. I think conversations are always more engaging.
Right. Hey, we're not Rush Limbaugh, right? He's a professional.
Oh my God.
He can go 3 hours without taking a phone call.
Does he go 3 hours without going to the bathroom?
Probably that too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's on the radio.
Yeah.
He could be doing it live from his bathroom.
He could be. We wouldn't know.
Shitting the entire time.
Anyway, continue.
Okay. So we had friends on and stuff like that. And I would say, okay, so we have this really loose narrative about how Johnny died, and this part of the story, this is going to be happening, and I don't have lines for you. We're just going to improvise. And we had Broken Satellite on.
That ended up being the guy who killed me.
Yeah, Broken Satellite killed you with his because
Fresh Beats or something.
The Broken Satellite. You were in a coma, and I brought you to the Broken Satellite and trying to help you. Mm-hmm. And Broken Satellite was an installation with an AI system. So for the podcast, I was speaking to the Broken Satellite AI system.
Yeah.
And he blasted Johnny Dim and killed him with his beats.
This Funky Fresh Beats, I think. So
we get to Richard Lanius, and Richard Lanius in the board game community is a known person. It was a celebrity interview. Mm-hmm. And so with no emails, no nothing. He comes on to what's the name of that service? Before Hangouts, we used what? Skype. He comes on to Skype, and I'm like, oh, by the way, Richard Lonnie is someone who's already being nice to us by taking out a significant amount of time in your busy schedule to talk to us, and we're not paying you. You also have to do some improv theater before and afterwards. And he was like, yeah, okay. And I got real nervous because I felt like he might be going into this a little half-cocked.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't know exactly what we were going for.
No, he was an experienced role player.
Yes, and it showed.
It did.
So good.
Yeah, he was great. You got to do the line though.
Before it was a podcast setting where you just spoke as your character, and if we need to describe physical action, we would do reactions like, "Why are you punching me directly in the kidney?"
Right.
But he started self-narrating.
He DM'd himself.
Yeah, he assumed the role of the narrator, and so I was like, okay, so I'll start standing over Johnny Dim's corpse and be like, "Oh, Johnny."
Oh no! When he appeared, that was the best part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's
Oh, you were doing you. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
go
so
ahead.
I was like, "Johnny, laying there lifeless. What am I to do? Now it seems relatively soon I'm going to run out of oxygen, and it's just going to be our two corpses drifting through the vast abyss forever." There's a swirl of light, and out steps Richard Lanius. It's like, damn.
It was the best. It was the best. And that all comes back to Comicpalooza because we all kind of only talked to him because he was going to be at Comicpalooza.
Exactly.
We've met some really cool people like
Miltos Geronimo.
Yeah.
Miltos Geronimo.
Miltos Geronimo. He was epic. And what sucks is that some of these episodes are lost forever.
Yes.
I've kept a lot of stuff, but I had to start deleting stuff off of my hard drive, and our website we let it lapse.
Yeah.
And so everything that was on the server is gone.
Yeah, and Warlocks is now a bondage online retailer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nailed it.
All right.
But that's all we got for today.
So that's all we have to say about this year's
gonna-
Comicpalooza.
We'll talk about another part of Comicpalooza next week.
Comicpalooza is going to be May 10th, 11th, and 12th. We're going to be there all 3 days, doing panels, doing shows, playing games, stop by our booth, because one thing that we're very careful about, because con circuits like this, sometimes they fall into this into this trap of like everyone's a store.
Yeah.
Okay, are we a store this year? Absolutely. Is that all we are? Never. Never. It's going to be engaging. You're going to play games. You're going to win prizes. You're going to buy stuff. You're going to watch our show. It's going to be a good time, and I want to see you there. I want to see you all there.
And I'm going to give you a little slight preview here of what I'm going to be selling at our booth. It's this T-shirt here.
The very suable.
The what?
The very copyrighted.
We're going out on a limb. We're
Yeah.
going out on a limb. But yeah, I'll have plenty of these shirts ready for your purchase.
The name of your store is Cease and Decisive.
Cease and Decisive. But yeah, so that's just a preview there. Especially if you're a Rockets fan, that'll be fun. I'm going to try to get at least one of the design printed up, but that shit's expensive. All right, so that's all we got.
Yes. So on that note, I think it's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Have fun.
Just end it.
Okay.
Just, you always add something.
I always feel like there's something just a little more we can squeeze out of you.